Lincoln Riley, you was this close, and I mean this close, very, very, very close to getting away with everything. However, you messed up and you slipped up. You didn't do that great of a job covering up what your assistants were doing behind the scenes. I know exactly what y'all are saying. Yo, Matt, what happened? Who got caught? What's going on? Well, one of his assistants, he got caught in 4K, or maybe better to say red-handed, because Oklahoma's red. Oh yeah, guys, real quick, I'm interrupting this video. I never plugged my Instagram. Y'all go shoot me a follow on Instagram. It's MattBeGreatYT. And if you don't want to follow me, I really appreciate it when y'all guys DM me news, because it helps out the videos, gets us involved, we can interact. Go DM me, shoot me a follow, I appreciate it. Let's get back on with the video. We're going to take a deep and detailed look on what went on and what's currently going on with that, and also Oklahoma players calling out Lincoln Riley. We got a ton of interesting things to get into, but first, you guys, shout out to all of you. You crushed the like goal on the most recent video. I said get to 1,000 likes before 8 p.m. You guys got it over to 1,500. That's amazing. Shout out to you guys. Y'all want the double upload. I'm a fan of the people, and I'm going to give the people what they want. If you're new to the channel or you're just not subscribed, you know what to do. Do all that nice stuff down below. Now, without further ado, let's get into the news. Let's start with what defensive lineman for Oklahoma, Isaiah Thomas, had to say about his former head coach. On Twitter, USC said, quote unquote, from Lincoln Riley, "This is going to be the mecca of college football." Under that, Isaiah Thomas said, "He told us that last week." Actually, my bad. I believe I saw that on Instagram, not Twitter. It doesn't matter. It was on social media. But not only that, another player for Oklahoma posted a picture of Lincoln Riley and Isaiah Thomas and tagged Lincoln Riley as World of Snakes. The caption for that photo said, "Never fold, that's against the code." Not all too much to say about that. I can't blame the kids. I don't think anybody's going to be mad about it. That's not that big of a deal compared to what we're about to get into. Here's where things get sticky. There's a 5-star defensive back in high school that goes by the name of Domani or Damani Jackson. Hope I'm saying that right. And he narrowed down his options to 2 schools, Alabama, USC. He recently visited Michigan and he had him in his top 5. Here's what he had to say. "I like Michigan. It's a great school with great people, but at the end of the day, I just didn't see myself there. It's nothing against them at all. I just felt more comfortable at Alabama and USC and thought those 2 were the best choices for me in the long run." Following that up, here's what he had to say about Lincoln Riley, quote unquote. "Riley has been blowing my phone up, and that's been impressive. With all that he has going on, for him to take time out of his day to reach out to me, it shows a lot. He wants to come for an in-home visit, but this week is pretty crazy, so that will probably happen next week." Also adding, he wants to send in Coach Alec Grinch, defense coordinator, first, and he'll come in later. I've heard from Coach Grinch too, and also Roy Manning, who was a DB coach at OU. I've been texting back and forth with Coach Manning and looking forward to meeting those guys in person. He said some more things in the interview, talked about Alabama, USC, and all that, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Roy Manning. I know what some of you are thinking. Yo, Matt, who's Roy Manning? I had to do some research myself. He is the current defensive back coach at Oklahoma. Why is that a big deal? Because he's the current, let me emphasize, current defensive back coach for Oklahoma, yet he's recruiting a kid to go to USC. What makes it all even worse is that Lincoln Riley didn't even announce that he was going to bring him to USC. Here's the thing, even if eventually down the road he does go to USC in a couple of days, it hasn't been announced, so why is he already working for them? I mean, we are talking about huge and major recruiting violations that are currently going on if all this is true, and it appears to be true. I believe it's true because this article that I'm getting this information from, it wasn't posted to expose Lincoln Riley. It was focusing on the 5-star recruit. If you didn't think it was already weird enough, it was also reported yesterday Roy Manning was recruiting with Bob Stoops for Oklahoma. Kind of strange, and it leaves you guessing and sitting there thinking, what in the heck is going on? If some of you are confused, I'm trying to break it down the best way possible and dumb it down the best way possible. The current defensive back coach for Oklahoma is recruiting for 2 schools. He's been talking to recruits for Lincoln Riley and acting like he's going to join USC when he hasn't even done that yet, and he's also working for Bob Stoops and recruiting kids to Oklahoma. For those of the people that are like, yo, it's not that big a deal, eventually he's going to go to USC, well, it is a big deal because he's not there yet. With all that being said, I want you guys to remain optimistic as I'm going to remain optimistic. It's not 100% confirmed. Before I make a judgment call and form my opinion on any situation, I like to hear both sides of the story. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to hear both sides of the story because I don't think Lincoln Riley is going to speak on this or Coach Roy. Roy. I'll let you do what you want with that information. Let me know your thoughts. Moving on with this video, getting back on track with what Oklahoma and former Oklahoma players have said, here's what D.D. Westbrook tweeted out. I do not believe everything on social media, but if what has been said is true about Coach not notifying the players and then finding out how the world found out, that's bogus as you know what, and you put a lot of people and families in a terrible spot. Preach integrity, but don't live by it. Like we was talking about earlier with Isaiah Thomas, he also confirmed on his show that the reporter broke the news to him before the team meeting. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I look at it like this. In 2021, it is so hard to hide anything with social media. I do believe Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly, well, I don't know, but I hope they had enough decency to address it themselves, and that's what they planned on doing. Even though they planned on doing it, it got leaked and it left them in a tough spot. Even though they planned on doing it, it got leaked and it left them in a tough spot. It doesn't matter that it got leaked. It's the fact that your team found out you was leaving and you weren't the first person to tell them. It's a bad look. It'd be the same thing and the equivalent to this. Imagine some random dude walking up to you in public and saying, hey, I can't believe your girlfriend broke up with you. And you're like, what? We broke up? That's exactly what went on. And how would that make you feel? You'd be upset, angry, feeling so many different emotions. I'm going to tell you something that is 100% true. Lincoln Riley is the bad guy for doing what everyone else would have done. 99.9% of people would have done the exact same thing Lincoln Riley's doing. It doesn't matter that it's Lincoln Riley. Whoever would have done what he did, he would have got hated for it. If you don't believe me, I have a great comparison. Let's take a look at LeBron James. I remember when he left Cleveland, people were burning his jersey, cussing him out, doing all sorts of kind of terrible things, saying terrible things about him. But then what do you know? A couple of years later, he announces he's coming back and everyone's saying, oh my gosh, I love you, the king is coming back and all this great stuff. A lot of people out there, especially in the sports world, have a terrible habit of letting their emotions take over. For all of my Oklahoma fans, you don't hate Lincoln Riley. You hate the fact that he hurt you. You're hurting inside. He broke up with you and it's killing you. It's just like a relationship. You don't hate that your girl left you. You're hate and you're hurting inside because it hurts. It's okay to hurt. It's going to happen. But let me tell you something. Oklahoma, you're going to be okay. You're still going to be the best team in the Big 12, similar to Notre Dame. You don't know who your next head coach is going to be, but you're going to get a good one. What Oklahoma should be worried about is whenever you get to the SEC. The SEC doesn't play. You're going to have a tough game every other week. You thought playing Baylor, Iowa State, Oklahoma State was hard? Just wait. These next couple of days for Oklahoma probably not going to be too much better. In a week or two, it's going to turn around. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. I'm very curious. But as always, I messed up my outro. That's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, wait, don't hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.